Alright, up next, you guys, we got Batman, Detective Comics number 23. You guys, this was a pretty good issue. The artwork is kind of sketchy. Kind of reminds me of the way that Venom is going on right now. It's okay. I definitely like Clayface and how he's drawn and what he's basically up to. It's kind of funny because I actually forgot that all he cares about is just stuff, you know, material possessions, wealth, jewels, stuff like that. That's all he wants to kind of get his hands on. And in this issue, it's no different. Some really cool pages, how he like kind of breaks down and he kind of just seeps into the vault, and then he bangs in the vault, make it sound like, you know, hey, let me out of here, somebody locked me in here, and then they open the door, and then, you know, and then this happens. So, and then Batman shows up, cool splash page. Batman shows up, saves the girl, but he actually has this kind of cool gun right here, and what it tries to do is it forms like this container, this, I don't know, this cylinder type of protective container, whatever, that they use, that he's trying to use to capture Clayface, but it has to be perfect. And there's so many obstacles as Clayface is running. You know, Batman is trying to chase him, and he actually gets a hold of him like 2 or 3 times. But, you know, Clayface is running. There's like, you know, an edge of a curb or something like that. So it has to be like a flat surface in order for Batman to actually get a hold of him. If there's just the slightest crack in which Clayface can escape, he's going to escape out of it. And that's kind of like what happens throughout most of the comic. You know, he goes to a couple people. He goes to the Mad Hatter to try to find out, you know, what's Clayface up to. He goes to the Penguin to find out, you know, what is Clayface up to. Doesn't really get any clear-cut answers. One thing I thought that was actually pretty funny was this panel right here. Commissioner Gordon, or no, Batman actually turns on the bat signal, and Commissioner Gordon sees that it's on, and he goes up to figure out like who turned this on. And then he shows up, and then Batman just kind of slaps him. He's trying to figure out if it's the real Commissioner Gordon. So a little bit of humor that they put in this book, because it's actually kind of a dark. The Dark Knight is actually kind of a dark issue right now. So I actually found that to be pretty pleasant to have a little bit of humor added to this issue. So they actually team up. Batman realizes that he needs to team up with the rest of the police force in order to catch Clayface. And what happens is they actually meet up at I think it's like a diamond mine in Ghana, which I think is kind of funny. And Batman kind of catches Clayface by surprise. And as we read, there's like a Batman here, but then there's like a bunch of Batmans here. So what happens is that the rest of the police force, they all team together and form a bunch of different Batmans to kind of throw off Clayface and kind of confuse him a little bit. And that's how they end up catching him. So he's caught, and another cool splash page. You see him right there. He's just caught, and he's just be toted around the city to prison, because they obviously have a much more airtight type of sealed cell for him. And then at the end of the issue, we see the continuation actually of this story into what's called the origin of Clayface. Now, I started reading this already because I thought that actually the issue before this one was the origin of Clayface, but I am kind of a Clayface fan. He is a really cool villain, so I picked it up, I read it, and, you know, I'll continue to read it. But now that we're seeing that the origin of Clayface actually is coming up, I'm definitely going to check that out. This issue, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. You know, this is one that I would definitely probably borrow and just read from somebody. Not really necessarily one that I would have to purchase, but, you know, it was still definitely worth reading, especially if you're a Batman or Clayface fan. It was kind of clever on how they went about telling the story and actually apprehending Clayface. That I like. Alright, you guys, final issue of the week. Now, as you guys saw in my pull list, I had like 15 titles that I picked up. No, I'm not going to review all those titles. You know, we'd be here for like freaking 2 hours, man. I know you guys don't want to watch a 2-hour video of me. So my final issue of the week is Scarlet Spider number 21. This is actually a beautiful cover. When I seen this, I was like, oh heck yeah, I want to read this, I want to check it out. And we see Ben Reilly is back. Or is he? Ben Reilly's back. You know, Kane is kind of going through the motions right now because his degenerating virus or whatever has come back, and he's dying. But as we read, we find out that here's a cool splash page. We see both Spider-Man, so that's actually really, really cool. We find out that he was actually injected with a blowgun at an airport. Where is this at? Where's this? I knew I was going to pass it. Huh. I hate it when, like, you know, you want to find something you can't find, and it kind of drives you nuts. Oh yeah, here it is. So right here, we see that he was at an airport and he got pricked, and it's causing like these hallucinations. And I won't say who he was pricked by, but the answer is at the end. And I will say this: it seems as if he's fighting with Ben Reilly, the Spider-Man clone, and here they are right here fighting. It's not Ben Reilly. No. This right here, it isn't Ben Reilly. It's not the Spider-Man clone. And I can't really say who it is because it's kind of like a major spoiler. So it's when I saw it, I was like, oh wow, I haven't seen this person in quite a while. So it's going to definitely be interesting to see how all this turns out. So Ben Reilly's not back. In case you guys were like wondering, like, oh yeah, he's back, cool. You know, haven't seen from him in a while, blah blah blah. He's not. So if that's a spoiler, then I guess I just spoiled it, but he's not. It's actually somebody else. But it was a good story. I love the artwork. I love the colors. The artwork, I think, is definitely really, really, really good. I give this a solid, you know, I give it a solid 4 out of 5. It was really good. I think it's only 20 pages, and again, you know, I got to dock off a half point for that. So it was actually really close to me just recommending that you just read it or borrow it. But, you know, I say, you know, go ahead and buy it, especially if you're a Scarlet Spider fan or Spider-Man fan. I give it a 4 out of 5. So yeah. Alright, you guys, that's it. That's it with my comic book reviews. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check me out on geekedoutnation.com, new website that's up, where a lot of your comic book reviewers, movie reviewers, video game reviewers are reviewing stuff. New website. It's got a lot of potential. Check it out, support it, tell your friends about it, as well as this channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, favorite, burn, download, whatever. You know, yeah. I love you guys. Thank you so much. As always, keep God number one in your life. Enjoy your comic books, though, and God bless you guys. I'm out of here.